My full name is Charles William Steele Jr., and my name my friends call me is Bill Steele. I'll start out by saying that when I was a boy and just beginning to read and discovering the books that were in our house, my dad had a copy of Kon-Tiki. And Kon-Tiki is a book about a guy from Sweden who back in the 50s decided he was going to show that maybe people from South America populated the islands of the South Pacific. And so he experimented by building a raft and floating out in the Pacific Ocean to Easter Island, and it actually succeeded in doing that. Well, there was this book in the house, and I used to look through that book a lot when I was a kid, and there was a picture in there of him, Thor Heyerdahl, and this polar explorer, Peter Fruchen, standing around this giant globe in the Explorers Club in New York City. And I used to wonder how you became one of those people. How do you do that? They don't talk about that at school. They talk about the explorers from 500 years ago, and I used to think, God, I wish I had been born back then. Why wasn't I born back then? I could have explored this world. I really wanted to be an explorer in my little boy mind, and I never let it go. And I stood around that globe in the Explorers Club in New York City recently, last December, I mean, it happened. But you got to make stuff happen for yourself. Nobody's going to hand it to you. You got to project yourself there, Since I retired from a career with the Boy Scouts of America, and when I did, I was the National Director of Alumni Relations. My work is as a cruise ship speaker, and I've got a stage name, which is Caveman. The big thing about caves to me, and deep ocean, is that those areas can't be mapped from space with satellites, and they're just beginning to be explored. There's a lot about deep oceans that are unknown. Caves are, in some cases, most people in their minds think of caves as tight, confined places, and gives them the willies to think about the claustrophobia that might get to them or whatever, but there can be awesome, big, giant chambers, and sometimes you got to go through tight places, and I call myself a claustrophilic, which is the opposite of claustrophobia. That's where you actually like it, and you want to be held closely by Mother Earth herself, That's the way I put it. But original exploration, that's not easy to come by anymore, where you're the first one to go somewhere. Like I said before, Everest has been climbed by 5,000 people. It's significant, it's hard, but it's not original. There's few places in the world now that aren't explored, very few. Caves are one of them. Let's do the full, the full observation. In other words, what all is there? Why is the cave there? What's the geology that allows this space to be here? That's geology. Biology, what's living in there? And is unique, unknown cave life. And often it is. New species are found all the time that live in caves, that have taken up residence in there many, many, many generations ago and sort of adapted to the total darkness and silence. And what is there for them to eat? Paleontology, what animals in the distant past have fallen in there and the remains are there to find. There's a list of things like that, different sciences. I call them the ologies of speleology. Not just exploration and mapping, though there's a obligation among cave explorers that if you explore it, you map it. You don't just explore it and come out and say, yeah, we explored it. It's sort of an obligation to do the map of it. Well, one cool thing about cave exploration, the magic number in mountains is 8,000 meters high. In caves, it's 1,000 meters deep. There's 14 mountains in the world 8,000 meters high. There will never be any more than that. But how many caves? Who knows what the deepest cave in the world? Who knows, We don't know. There's stuff to be found. For more information about us, visit peshcaving.org. That's P-E-S-H caving.org. We also have a Facebook page called Proyecto Espeleológico Sistema Huautla, and we'll have a blog going on peshcaving.org during the expedition.